supposed to say something that adds value. I want to start off giving credit where actually credit is due. You heard a lot about who started Shining Through, but I want to acknowledge the following individuals: Joshua, Noah, Anthony, Matthew, Philip. And just in case you're thinking I'm talking about biblical people, I want to add in Freddie. As far as I know, there's not a Saint Freddie, although I think there should be. So I want to acknowledge these young men because they are why we are here today. Every year after Joe says really nice things about me, which some of them are true, I climb these stairs, I get into this panic mode, and I tell my friends all the time about when I'm about to give a speech that I get a little antsy and nervous about what to say because I don't really prepare for it. And their comment to me most of the time is, "Oh, Freddie, it's easy for you. It's, you're passionate about this topic. You got a passion for Shining Through." So I looked into my, how to sound smart for stupid people, Google, and I found the definition of passion: a strong sexual or romantic feeling for someone. I don't think that's why we're here tonight, although that would be one hell of a fundraiser. Second definition: a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement for something or about doing something. Most of you know that Rosanna and I are the parents of Freddie. Freddie was one of the first kids to shine through, the first graduate shining through. What you probably don't know is Freddie was born with congenital heart disease. So by the tender age of 15 months, he had undergone 1 emergency procedure, 2 open heart surgeries. The thing about congenital heart disease, though, is that there was some kind of certainty. We were at Sick Kids Hospital. There was a team of cardiologists. There was a plan. There was a focus. There was a direction. We knew what was going to happen. You knew it was going to get done. The second operation didn't go very well, and he was in intensive care for 5.5 months. During that time, his lungs didn't work, so he was breathing from a machine. His stomach stopped working, so he was feeding from a machine. His kidneys stopped working for a while. At one point in time, he got such a high fever that they thought he had leukemia. But what Rosanna and I witnessed during that time period was this level of commitment and dedication and enthusiasm by a team of doctors and nurses and administrator people there that went completely out of their way to make sure our son's needs were taken care of. We were so overwhelmed with the passion that these people had to keep our son alive. To the point where Rosanna and I used to say, when Freddie grows up, he's going to be a cardiologist. And he would marry Salma Hayek's daughter. Yeah, I threw that in. But leaving Sick Kids Hospital, I can say for a fact that Hospital for Sick Children saved my son's life. Unbeknownst to us, though, the spectrum of autism was just around the corner. And about 1.5 years or so later, Freddie was diagnosed with autism. Unlike the heart problem, there was no certainty. There was no guideline. There was no path. It was a labyrinth of information. We had no idea what to do. And like that, the life that Sick Kids saved, for us, was taken away from him. Fortuitously enough, though, this autism diagnosis put on a path where we got to meet 4 other families, 4 other gentlemen who had similar diagnoses and similar challenges as us. As a result, Shining Through was formed. Once I met John DiBertolo, Umberto Martini, Val Girardi, and Ted Leader. Shining Through was formed well, we had a vested interest to do so because we had the needs of our sons to take care of. Truth be told, we created the canvas. We just created the canvas. But the picture, the color, the true art was created by the incredible staff that we have at Shine Through. Again, headed up by Sherry Bartman and her incredible, talented team of instructors, our administrative staff as well. The long hours, the dedication, the passion that they showed towards our kids. Take these children who can barely sit still, can barely speak, and change their lives. Modified their behavior, taught them how to read, taught them how to write, taught them things. So it was their passion that actually made Shining Through what it is today, a leader in the industry. Shining Through is one of the best known facilities for kids with autism in Ontario. To the point now where we have 3 locations. What started out in a basement facility in Newmarket ended up being our flagship location in Woodbridge, our second location in Beecroft, Young and Beecroft, and our third location was a joint venture in Streetsville with the Streetsville Private School, where we do kind of a funneling program with kids with autism in the area that allow them to move into the classroom there. It's a phenomenal program. And again, we owe that to the passion of the people that brought Shining Through where it is today. Sick Kids Hospital saved my son, shining through, gave my son a life. Just to give you a little indication where Freddie left Shining Through in 2006, the first graduate, and he went on to do high school. So he finished 6 years of high school. Granted, he was in a special needs program, but he was able to assimilate. He was able to stay in there, and he was able to learn along with his peers and socialize with other kids, normal kids, so to speak. More importantly, Freddie recently acquired a volunteer working position at our local Longo store at Clarence and Rutherford. I just happened to approach the general manager, told him who I was, told him about my son, sat down, had a meeting with him. He met with him. We met with their HR team. It took a while, but we got there. The importance about this is not so much that they took him in, which is a phenomenal thing, and we're very, very grateful for it, is that they took him in without me having to hire a shadow. He's completely unsupported in there. They took a chance for this kid to come in with autism and work along one of their people. And it's just huge for somebody with autism, with autistic child, to be given that opportunity. I sound like Chris Rock. All we want is an opportunity. The objectives tonight are they're twofold. Obviously, we need to raise money. There's no denying that. A full-day program still costs $60,000 a year, and to tell you the truth, it actually costs $72,000 a year to run a full-day program. So every child that comes in on a full-day program costs us $12,000 more. So we have to raise money for these children. Some of these children get funding, nowhere near the $60,000. Most of them don't. So we have to help them out. The second most important thing is awareness. Awareness is critical for fundraising, for support, and from my perspective, equally important for acceptance. The real reason I brought up this newspaper is I was reading the paper a little while ago. When was this? February 15th. And there was an article on the front page of the Toronto Star. The headline read, "Special Needs Exclusion Slammed." The opening line was, "Ontario principals have the power to kick special needs kids out of school indefinitely if they can't get the help they need." Then reading later on, if a student has, out of no fault of their own, certain outbursts, like an autistic child or someone on the spectrum, the school needs to be examined to see exactly what they do with that child, and if they can't, the child can't be in there. In 1999, Rosanna and a group of other parents started a lawsuit against the Ontario government back then for funding for this type of program that we have Shining Through. Upon initiation of the lawsuit, the Ontario government came up with the funding program that exists today, but they cut it off at the age of 5. We continued our lawsuit saying that the cutoff was arbitrary and discriminatory. We won a trial, but we lost at the Ontario Court of Appeal, not having the financial resources to take it forward, so we left it at that. One of the main arguments raised by the Ontario government at that point was the school system would take care of these kids when they reach school age. That was 1999. Here we are in 2016. And this is not a criticism to the schools, because I know they don't have the support that they need. But now in 2016, we're still faced with having our educational systems that are not equipped to handle these kids with autism. I can guarantee you that these kids, had they gone through a system like Shining Through, they wouldn't be one of the ones that are being kicked out of the school. So we need to let people know, not just about autism, but what's available for these kids. There is something out there that can help them. Social media is such a big thing nowadays. I remember seeing a clip a little while ago about a nice dog, cute little dog, tied up to a pole, people walking by, petting the dog, giving the dog water, feeding the dog, and the same group of people walk by a homeless guy with a cup for money and just ignored him completely. But what's the takeaway from that? Do we like dogs better than people? No, I don't think so. I think people have this compassion when they understand the needs, when they understand that somebody's underprivileged, when they understand somebody's plight. We need to let more and more people aware. You have a sticky on your, what do they call it? A selfie stick on your table tonight. And most of you are here tonight because you are aware. You've been here before. You know somebody who's autistic. You have a friend with an autistic son. You have a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, a goddaughter, godson, whatever. You know, you are aware, you hear. you have the passion for what we do. You got those selfie sticks tonight, take pictures. Put it on your social network. Let more and more people know, not just about autism, but there's a genuine, real help for them that makes a difference. We build on this awareness. We have partners in the commercial world. St. Louis Wings, for example, held another autism drive for Shining Through and raised in excess of $125,000. Thank you for the board value. Rafaela Borzano and her group of dedicated friends had another Spinning for Autism venue this year and raised $50,000. Now don't get me wrong, that money is fantastic to us, but what's equally important to us is more and more people know about autism and know about Shining Through, and that's critical for us. From my perspective, you see, awareness creates passion. Passion is what takes something that's average and turns it great. Passion, from my perspective, is infectious and contagious, and we rely on it. So spread the word, let people know what we do, continue the passion that you have for Shining Through, and have fun tonight. Okay, now I'm supposed to mention